Visibility.
No scope. Double kill. Victory. No scope. Triple kill. Killing spree. No scope. Double kill.
Grapple shot obtained.
5 minutes remaining. No scope. No scope. Double kill. No scope. Triple kill. Overkill. No scope. Victory.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Coreboy. We're back at it again today with a new Halo video, of course, because what else do I fucking play at this point in my life? I only play Halo. It's my... it's an addiction. Kind of like Diet Coke. But today, we're just chilling. We're playing some Halo. Currently planning out a pretty big video with a friend of mine, or maybe a couple different people, so you guys will see that sometime here soon. But we've just been busy as can fucking be. We have been out here grinding. I was gonna stream yesterday, but I decided not to, so I'm probably gonna do a bit of a long ass stream tonight. So be on the lookout for that, of course, because that'll just be a lot of fun. Ended up a couple days ago, I think I showed it off in the last video, but I ended up spending, I think, like damn near all of my Spartan points for the season, just because I really wanted some of the shit that came out, because it was just kind of cool. But there's also something I've been wanting to check, because it's been a debate of mine for a fucking minute here, and I was like, how much is this thing gonna fucking cost me? So we're gonna check really quick. So give me just a minute. Or this one, I'm about the banished one anyway, just to have it, because fucking it does look kind of cool. But I got the Draken one, and this one looks fucking sick. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy it and say fuck it, just because it looks cool. So why not? It's actually pretty cool looking. I don't mind that. Any other ones that look cool on this? That one looks meh. What else we got here? Let's look through our skins and see what we've got. That looks goofy. That looks kind of cool. Looks pretty cool. All gold looks hard. Like, it goes kind of hard. The Ghost Fleet kind of goes hard as well. Ooh. Ooh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We may have cooked right there. That's cooking. No. Not bad. Ooh. Yeah, we kind of cooking with that. I'm buying it. I'm getting that on there. Fuck it. Why not? Also, it gave us a new coating. How's our coating look? What's it look like? I don't know. Ooh. Kind of cooks. Kind of cooks, but I'm sticking with like the hunter build on this fella. I don't know what the visor looks like either, but we're gonna check it. We'll see what it looks like. Ooh, kind of cooks. Ooh. Yeah, I'm kind of fucking with that on that. That's kind of cool. I forget that I have the same hell. I haven't got to rebuild this fucker yet. But we may do something with that core. Actually, I bet you it would look low-key kind of sick as fuck on the Yori. I'm not even gonna lie. Kind of cooks on there, but it's fine. Mirage, so I can just have like a different little skin on this fella. Kind of cooking. We'll figure it out at some point, but not right now, because we're going to hop into some fucking Rumble Pit. There's really just not too much going on right now. I will say, for some reason, I've kind of like noticed a thing recently of like any game that's doing like kind of popular and like a hype sense to a degree, like ever since I've done my Splitgate 2 video where I was talking about Splitgate 2, its announcement and everything, I've noticed some people have just been like really upset about the game. Like being like, oh, look at this, the fucking hero killer's killing itself. I don't think the game ever like labeled itself as a Halo killer. It just kind of like accidentally got that title because of how the game played and everything. Um, and like, I don't think that game's killing itself. They're of course trying new things with it because they kind of have to. Um, because the biggest thing with games is you have to innovate them so they don't just stay bland, boring, and like the same thing again and again and again and again and again. so like them trying new things isn't a bad thing, and that team is pretty open and receptive to criticisms and things that need to be changed compared to some other teams, which is a really good thing. Listening to your player base, but I do think we need to talk about that a little bit because there's different ways to approach talking to your player base. There's the games that only appeal to the casual players, and I hate to be the one to say it, but Call of Duty is mostly that game at this point, at least to me, where they only listen to the small, minute amount of players that are in the bottom of the barrel, like, bracket of players. There's the games that only listen to the pro scene and people who play the games 24/7 and have, like, the highest skill gap amongst all players. And then there's what I would consider is, like, probably the best way to do it is to go with the middle of the ground players. People who are playing the game pretty fucking consistently, have a lot of, like, quite a few good amount of hours into the game. And are just, like, what I would say is the consistent player base, which tends to, weirdly enough, be the least vocal of any of those things. And I would say that I'm, like, definitely a middle-of-the-line player, and I'm not afraid to show my criticisms, and I think more people need to understand that you should listen to more of all of them and not just one singular aspect of your player base, because they all have valid inputs. The lowest of the lowest players have a valid input stance. Some I know some people will disagree with, but hey, that's okay. Gaming's not, like, certain games aren't meant for everybody, and I do want to, like, point that out as being a completely okay thing. Just because a game isn't for you doesn't mean it's inherently bad. I don't know what the fuck I did there. But that's something that people do need to, like, get through their head, is just because a game's not meant for you doesn't mean it's inherently bad. Like, for me personally, like, I loved X-Defiant when it first came out, didn't like the route they have started going with the game, therefore I stopped playing it. Do I hate the game? No. But is it a game that's meant for me in the current state that it's in? No, it's not. It's not meant for me, and I'm completely okay with that. Like, there's just games that are like that, and people need to be understanding that, hey, not every game in the world is released for you. There's games that are released for a bunch of people. Like, personally, I don't like Valorant, and I don't like Overwatch. I'm not a big fan of Counter-Strike, but I do understand that those games aren't made for someone who plays shooters like I do. And I'm completely okay with that. While I think Valorant has its own set of fucking issues and things that definitely need to be fixed within that game, I understand that it's not meant for me. People who like it, that's great. I'm happy that you like it. And people who don't like it, guess what? That's okay. Just move on. Find a different fucking game to play. There's millions, if not billions, of these games that exist, and you can play legit any of them. So you should probably do that before you just get really mad at not liking a singular fucking title, because it's just not meant for you, and that's completely okay. And I will say, even, like, Halo kind of falls into that same kind of scope of things. People don't like new Halo, but decide to be the most vocal about it. Hey, man, if new Halo's not for you, it's not something that you enjoy, guess what? There's other games for you to play. Like, you don't just need to harp on, oh, the series that I love so much as a kid has evolved to where I don't like it. Guess what, man? That happens with every game. I've legit played Call of Duty from the start of Modern Warfare 2 all the way up until COD, Black Ops Cold War. I played every single COD every year. It was like one of the games that I always bought because I always enjoyed it. And I realized it hit a point of where I just don't enjoy playing them. I don't enjoy the new style of gameplay. I don't enjoy what they're going for. And that's completely okay, because it's just not meant for me. So therefore, I can choose to do one of two things. Never shut up about it and consistently, whine and cry about it. Or I can just be like, hey, there's other games that I can play that give me the same satisfaction, if not more. And that's kind of where Halo comes in. I started playing more Halo. I've played Halo my entire life, but I got into it much more heavily because it gave me a route of games that I love to play. It gave me the, kind of classic arcade feel, while, kind of having its own uniqueness to it. And that's one thing I've always loved about Halo, is it just kind of always had its own little unique, like, niche. And that's one thing Halo's always done really well. So that's why I don't think there's necessarily a Halo killer. It's the same of, I don't think there's necessarily a COD killer. I know it's kind of how X-Defiant has been labeled and what people do label it as, but I don't think, the only way you can kill a game that's as big as that is legit by the devs deciding not to make any more of them. That's how they die out. That's what happens. But I don't think that there's going to ever be necessarily a Halo killer or a COD killer, or like with any other big FPS title. There's never going to be a Counter-Strike killer. There won't be a Gears killer. The only way those games die is, like I said, by the dev teams themselves deciding, hey, we're just not going to make these anymore. And that's completely okay if they decide not to make those games anymore, because if that's not what they want to make, then they shouldn't. Like, there's plenty of other routes for devs to go. like I said, you just don't like a game, that's totally okay. But there's no reason for you to harp on it and be like, no, this is a objectively bad game because I don't like it. Because that's just not how gaming works in general. What in the world? Okay. I don't know how the hell that headshot didn't hit, but that's crazy. But it's completely okay to not enjoy games. But the thing I really wanted to focus on today, at least, and talk about a little bit more in depth, was the whole thing of people considering, like, Splitgate a Halo killer. Even though, like, as much as I love Splitgate, it doesn't give me the same satisfaction of Halo. Like, it's a completely different style of gameplay. While there are similarities to a degree, and I will agree with that, and it's okay for games to have similarities. It doesn't mean they're trying to, like, compete directly against that game. I mean, maybe to a degree, but it's definitely not really there. I feel like Splitgate, to me, falls down the more line of games like Unreal Tournament and Quake and stuff like that. Like, what I would say is, like, the traditional arena shooter compared to what Halo is as an arena shooter. With, like, insane movement, having, like, all this tech that you can use and kind of learn and base your gameplay around. It's just, it's its own unique thing, and I feel like people need to understand that. And also, people saying that it's going to be a hero shooter, people need to stop saying that. They've already confirmed, hey, this isn't a hero shooter. Like, yes, there are factions that have different abilities. The way I looked at it and the way that I explained it in my video is it'll probably be done something kind of like Halo Reach. It isn't a hero shooter, but you have, like, different abilities that you can pick with its, like, loadout system. And that, I'm totally fine with. I think that's actually a really cool way of going about it. I think Halo Reach is a game that did that very well. While I do have my own criticisms of Halo Reach, I think there's definitely some things wrong with that game. I do like that aspect of it quite a bit, and it's something that did always keep me coming back to the game, and still does kind of to this day, if I'm being completely honest. But whenever I hear, like, oh, this is just trying to be this and that, I don't think it's completely true. And like I said, the dev team already confirmed, hey, this isn't a traditional hero shooter. This isn't like... Whenever people hear, like, factions and abilities, and I totally do get it now to a degree because of how popular they have become, and we do have to remember that when a certain type of game gets really popular, it tends to be something that a lot of companies try to do because they're like, oh, this is doing really well, what if we did our own spin on it? So, for example, a game like Overwatch, like, now we have games, like, that aren't even as popular, like the Marvel game that's getting ready to come out, which I don't give a shit about, and then another game that tried to do was a game like Paladins, if you all remember that back in the day. Cool, you do remember that. And it's okay to just, like, have that be a thing. Like, it's cool, not my thing. But trying to say that just because a dev team has one certain thing that is, I guess, popular within a genre doesn't necessarily mean it falls into that genre. I kind of explained it in my video that I did for XDefiant. And the thing that I've had an issue with the game personally is I feel like the game has a bit of an identity crisis, is how I explained it. I feel like the game is trying to be an arcade shooter and an arena shooter, but also it's trying to be a hero shooter, and those three things melded together don't really work that well with the style of games they're doing. Now, it works for a game like Overwatch because it's completely built around that. But the idea of having kind of arena shooter elements, but also having, like, the hero element, and it works really well with that. But when like, that game isn't just focused on one singular element where, like, oh, you really want to focus on the gunplay. It's like, no, you all are, like, figuring out how to use each one of these characters individually within their own class sets and become extremely effective with them. And I feel like that's one thing that XDefiant has really missed out on, of, like, trying to be a hero shooter, but it doesn't do it well enough, or does it with the same intent that, like, games like Overwatch does. It feels like they're trying to be... To a degree, what I describe it as is it feels like Black Ops 4, where they were trying something new and it just didn't really hit the mark. And I've explained it. I would love to see what some people have referred to as a purist mode, where there's no abilities. It's just straight up gunplay. You don't have the extra health from playing a certain faction or anything like that. And every time I think of, like, extra health in a game like that, I think of the criticisms that everybody had for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original COD 4, not the 2019 remake. That did not happen. That game does not exist in my brain. But the way they had it in that game was there was a perk that everybody came to know and hate so fucking much called Juggernaut, which gave you extra health. And it kind of... What are we doing? Or why are we hiding in here? Like, move around the fucking map. What in the fuck do I keep running into here? Like, what are you? What kind of creature does this? Anyway, before I got really pissed off at that because I died 2 times to a dude sitting in this fucking tunnel, the, like, biggest complaint with that was it just ruined gameplay. It ruined how the gunplay was supposed to feel, because you would be getting all these kills, and then randomly you would run into somebody who has, double the fucking health of the normal health pool, which isn't good for a game like that, mind you. It's not. It's just objectively not good for games like that. It really does ruin how the game flows, and that's kind of what's happened to XDefiant. Whenever I play that game, I'm like, wow, I really just don't like how this flows anymore. The game had a very unique style to it that I do love, and one thing I will commend that team on is their abject stance against, hey, we're never having SBMM in this game. Don't ever expect us to have it. And I do absolutely love that. So shout out to the team for that. But when it comes to a gameplay perspective, I just don't enjoy that kind of gameplay. To me, whenever I'm playing an FPS title, I think it's better whenever everybody's on like an abject playing field. They have the same health. They, like for Halo, for example, Halo done really well because everyone has the same health. It's all about using that starting loadout that you have and learning how to maneuver the map and get over everybody else, how to trample over them with power, is I guess the best way I could use to explain it. And it's always been like Halo's thing, and it's always worked really well under the Halo name. And I feel like if Halo did change it, kind of like how they tried to do with Halo 4, which I'm a big fan of, I do love Halo 4, but there's definitely some changes to that playstyle that doesn't really work that well. It makes it weird. And I get what they were going for. They were trying to appeal to a different audience that may have never, been interested in Halo. And for that, I really do commend them. I know a lot of people still complain and moan about it. I don't. I actually enjoy a lot of Halo 4's gameplay mechanics because they are really fun and they are interesting to get a hold of because it's not just like normal old Halo. It's its own identity in a sense, and that's what I've always kind of considered it, is its own little thing, and that's what makes it so fucking good, is it's not trying to be anything else. It's just being its own version of Halo. A little bit different, but it's its own thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I know there's definitely criticisms that can be used against it, and I agree with some of these criticisms. To me, personally, I mostly don't play a lot of the regular multiplayer within Halo 4. I play a lot of SWAT because I really, really enjoy how SWAT plays in that game. I think it's just really fucking fun. And there's other things as well. So overall, my biggest thing is don't criticize the game too hard until you actually put some hours into it. It's okay to like not like a game, but if you aren't actually trying out that game and putting hours into it to where you can like justify an opinion that you have, if you were just, I guess what I would say is following the masses of what they say about a game, then you're kind of weird for that, and that actually doesn't allow you to objectively give a take on a game that is backed by your own thoughts. And that's kind of my biggest issue with a lot of people who just listen to YouTubers for gaming opinions, because to me it's just a little weird. I'm just like, why are you only listening to a YouTuber? Now, of course, if you're trying to get better at a game, sure, listen to a YouTuber's opinion. Like, for example, I have been like here recently trying to up my Halo gameplay. Been trying to change how I play and stuff like that. Play smarter, play more like on the go, but not, overwhelm myself while I'm playing. So recently I've been watching a lot of like Shyway's content that he does, because I just really, first of all, enjoy his content, because I do think it's really fucking cool what he does of like analyzing Halo gameplay and then talking about how to get better. But also, if that's what you're going for, that's cool. But if you're like, no, saying it's bad because a YouTuber said it's bad, you're just kind of weird for that, and I don't think you understand gaming as a hobby. I don't think you understand like why people like games so much. Like, for me personally, for example, whenever Cyberpunk came out, I was understood of the criticisms that people made, and I got it, but I actually really enjoyed the game. And to a degree, that could be because I didn't have a lot of the issues that people had, but also it was just a really cool game, and I do really enjoy it. And I've actually been debating here recently redoing my playthrough on stream and everything, and I just think it would be really, really fun. So if y'all do want to see that, let me know, because I do love doing playthrough content. I think it's just really, really fun. And it gives me something to kind of mix up my normal content, so I get to just have fun doing some different shit. So if y'all want to see a full fucking, like, Cyberpunk playthrough, I know it'll be quite a few episodes, but if y'all are interested in that, please just let me know, and I will definitely, I'll repurchase the game on PC, because I haven't. I started playing it on console, and, like I said, I didn't have a lot of the issues, and I know some people are like, holy shit, you played it on console? Yeah, I did. It was all I had at the time. I'm deeply sorry. I, switched to PC about a year after it came out, and just didn't buy it. I was playing different games. This dude still hasn't moved worth shit, huh? He is still just sitting over there having his good old time, and I respect him for it. Go for it, buddy. But if y'all want to see that, please just let me know. I will gladly go through and redo Cyberpunk again. I do love that game quite a fucking bit, so I'm so down. And who knows, I may just do it anyway if y'all don't even want it. I probably won't upload it, but I'll probably like do it on stream, just to, like, give me something extra to play. I just like playing games. That is where I'm at in my life. I feel like there's not necessarily like a single genre of game that I'm like, this is peak for gaming. I just enjoy playing video games because I think video games are fun, and it's just kind of how I've always been. I like these little things. Okay, listen, it's the one thing I got going for me that I enjoy quite a fucking bit other than music. So, give me my fucking leeway, please. But overall, I'm still very, very excited for the next iteration of Splitgate. I genuinely don't think I've been this excited for a game, honestly, in a while. At least a game of like that caliber where I'm like, damn, I cannot wait to make content on it. And like, I kind of felt that same way about X Defiant, but in a different way. But when it comes to like arena shooters, like I seen when Split got announced, and I was like, holy shit, I can't wait to hop back into this world and experience this type of gameplay again, because to me it is just the most fun. Like, truly, it is the kind of game that I view as like damn near like perfect for my playstyle. It gives me a bit of a mix up from my normal Halo stuff, but also it allows me to have my own different experience, and I just cannot wait to fucking hop into it. I've been really, really fucking excited. And overall, to the gaming community, stop being so negative about every fucking game that comes out just because it's not your thing. It's okay to have things that are different from what you like. It's okay to try different things and to experience different styles of games. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. So if you can, just try out different games. I recommend that to everybody. If you were getting tired of a certain genre of game, go find something else that you like to play. Go try out some different shits. There's a lot of genres. You can play RPGs, you can play action games, you can play beat 'em ups, you can play fucking hack and slash games. There's a lot to try out, so go do that. And other than that, though, guys, it's been your boy Coreboy, and I will see you later.